Hey guys, what is up? This is ViperStealth. Thank you so much for your patience while I've been away from videos for YouTube. The reason for this is because after around 3,000 hours on PS4, I bought a gaming PC and I've switched up to PC. I've had to refarm all my gear, all my builds, so that's why I've not put out any content. I didn't want to put out any builds that are kind of half-assed and not worth sharing, so that's why I've been away for a while. But I'm back now, and what I've got for you here is it's a phenomenal healing build. It's great for groups and raid parties, so check this out. So quickly, just subscribe if you want any really top level builds or creative builds. There's no adverts on this channel and there's no fluff. Check the pinned comment for anything that I forget to add in the video, and also leave your thoughts and your questions on this build in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what you've got to say. So what I've come up with here is a Btsu healer build. So this is, as I mentioned, really good for groups and raid groups. It gives you and your team 25% extra bonus damage. It's got insane heals with really good cooldowns, and not only that, with the Btsu gloves you can reset all your team's skills and send your skills into overcharge and their skills into overcharge. So it's a fantastic support build, really top notch. So let's cover it quickly. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk you through the build. I'm going to talk to you about the bonuses that you get from the Survivalist specialization, and I'm also going to talk to you, most importantly, about the playstyle of this build. So first up, the build. You've got 4-piece Future Initiative, you've got Btsu gloves and Alps with Summit. I've gone for the Sweet Dream Sidearm and a couple of weapons here that have got the Reformation talent. So the primary doesn't matter, it's completely up to you. You can use any weapon you like, but make sure you go for Reformation. Don't worry too much about these, the core attributes and the side attribute. It really doesn't matter because you're not going to be doing a lot of damage anyway. Like I said, just make sure you've got Reformation on your weapon. For the sidearm, I've gone for the TDI card custom. Use any weapon you like. You don't need the bonus skill tier from this because your build is already at 6 yellows. So I've gone for this just because I like the weapon, but also make sure you've got Reformation on this weapon also. Next up, we've got the Alps with the Survivalist kind of linking ability safeguard. It helps you with, when you're at full armor, it gives your skill repair by 100% bonus. So if you pop a chem or healing hive and it does 100 healing, you get 200 healing when you're at full armor, so it's really good. It gives you 20% plus repair skills, and I've also found a piece that's come with repair skills, and I've just put on max skill haste onto it. So try and find one with either repair skills or skill haste pretty high, and then you can just recalibrate the other stat. I've also gone for mods on all of my pieces of skill haste. So if you check here, we've got skill haste, skill haste, skill haste, and skill haste. I'll go into this in more detail later on as to why I've used skill haste, not skill duration. Next up, we've got BTSUs. So this isn't anything new. They give you a bonus towards skill haste and repair skills. They also give you 15% Hive skill haste per skill tier. We've got 6 skill tier here, so this gives me 90% Hive skill haste, which is amazing. And whenever I detonate a Hive, it refreshes my cooldowns and grants overcharge for 15 seconds. And if I'm my skill tier 6, which I am, it also applies that to all allies within your team. So if you're in a raid where there's like 8 people in the raid, you're really helping out everyone in the raid, so that's fantastic. The cooldown on that is 2 minutes, 120 seconds, but it's still definitely worth taking. Make sure you get a pair of gloves that are BTSU. Last up, we've got the Future Initiative set here. So the Future Initiative, the bag and the vest only come from the new Iron Horse raid. So do keep that in mind, but all the other pieces just go to targeted loot and pick those up. The benefit of this is pretty cool. So 2 pieces gives you 30% repair skills, 3 pieces is 15% skill haste and 30% skill duration, and 4 pieces increases you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. So you're giving your team a 15% damage buff, whether that's skills or weapon damage. Now the beauty of this is on the vest, you've also got an extra talent of tactical superiority. So this gives an increase to your ground control damage bonus that I just mentioned from 15 to 25%. So as long as your teammates are at full armor and yourself are at full armor, you all get 25% damage buff, which I think is phenomenal. Now on top of this, you've got another talent. This is quite useful. Whenever you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you are also repaired for 60% of that amount. I'm going to cover this when I go over the playstyle later on. Okay, so don't worry about that too much right now. So that is essentially the build. The skills, I've gone for the healing chem launcher and the healing hive. I've just put a +1 mod on here and a healing mod, and here I've gone for like heals, extra charges and duration. So go for that, it's incredibly useful. Now talking about the bonuses of the Survivalist specialization, the Crossbow specialization. So the good thing about this is a talent called Triage Specialist. It gives you 15% increased outgoing healing. That's incredibly useful. There's a talent called Crunch Time, which gives you 10% skill haste when you're in cover, and also something called Distributed Repair. So whenever you apply an armor kit, it takes 5 seconds to apply to you, but it also applies to every teammate within 20 meters of yourself. There is also one other minor benefit that you get from the Survivalist specialization, and that is something called Survivalist Tactical Link, which gives you and your teammates 10% bonus damage to enemies that are suffering from a status effect. So if, for example, you've got a load of enemies that come bursting out the door, you can just throw a fire grenade at them, and once they're all on fire, everyone does 10% extra bonus damage against them. Really, really useful, this. So next up is the playstyle. And this is the most important, I think, because, you know, it's all very well having a good build, but if you don't know how to use it, it's not going to be that effective. So the playstyle, make sure you're hitting headshots with either the primary or the sidearm. So you've got Reformation here, you got to proc that. You don't need to be killing enemies, just get headshots. As soon as you proc Reformation, you're good to go. Okay, so you can stay in cover and chill out. So make sure you're procking Reformation. If enemies push you, and they're a red and a purple, smack them over the face with the Sweet Dream shotgun, put them down, it kills them instantly. You can't do that against elites, so you're kind of using that playstyle, hitting headshots and then just smacking people for your easy kills. Don't stack the chems. So I see a lot of healer builds, they do two mistakes. They chem their teammates when they're already at full armor. It's pointless, it's just a waste of a chem. And also they chem them like 2 or 3 times in a row when they're low armor. It doesn't make a difference. You drop a chem on someone, you need to wait until it's finished in order to apply another chem to them. And normally, especially in this build, your chems are good enough. My chems, they do 1,000,000 healing as base. That's before Reformation and Safeguard kicking. So I'm doing over 2,000,000 heals with my chem launcher. I don't need to stack these, and you won't need to either. So make sure that you're not stacking chems. This is also why I've gone for skill haste in my mods and not skill duration, because the chem launcher is fantastic at doing burst healing. It's not great at the healing over time. So I want the healing over time to be as short as possible, and I want the burst healing to be as high as possible. If I went for skill duration, the chem launcher cloud would stay out for longer, and the healing over time really isn't that great. It's 100,000, whereas a burst heal is 1,000,000, you know, base. So I don't want the chem to stay out for a long time, so that's why I don't go for skill duration. I recommend you go for skill haste with your mods. So next up, there's a couple of important things. I mentioned earlier on throwing the grenade whenever there's groups of enemies. That just helps set a status effect and crowd control for the ads. But lastly, this is a little bit complicated, so stay with me. Apologies if you lose me here. But the healing hive, what you want to do, let's say you're in a group of 4 people, and one of those guys is a shield DPS build. He's on the front line, he's running around like a madman, and he's getting plenty of kills. And you've got 2 guys sitting at the back of your team, shooting enemies from a distance. Now, your playstyle, what you want to do with this build is you want to throw the hive right next to the 2 people that are staying at the back to make sure they're getting heals. And you want to follow the person that's on the front line. Follow him with your chem launcher. Now, why you're doing that is because of this talent here. When you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you get 60% of that heal. So if your hive is healing the 2 agents at the back, as long as you're following your teammate at the front line, as long as you're within 5 meters of him, he will automatically get heals as well. So that's your playstyle. You've got to stay with the person that's on their own and put the hive with the people that are together, because that way you'll spread your heals the most effectively. Okay. One other thing that I need to mention is the vest from Future Initiative and the bag from Future Initiative. They only come from the Iron Horse raid, the new raid that's come out. If you need help finding people for that, either look towards your clan or maybe join a Discord and just let them know that you're new and that you're looking for these pieces, and they might be able to help. For the others, the mask, the holster and the knees, you can find these just in targeted loot. So make sure you go and find these. I recalibrated these for skill haste, all of them. So I recommend you do the same. So that's it, guys. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Leave your thoughts and questions on this build in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.